In the process of creating your patio, you're going to have a very high chance of needing to do some cuts using different machinery for the different types of materials you might be installing. We're going to go through some of those that will cover cutting on porcelain and others at cutting natural stone and clay pavers. So when making cuts with porcelain, you need to use a table saw that has a self-feed for water. This will ensure that when you're doing your cuts, you can keep dust to an absolute minimum, and it will make sure that the cut is very clean. With this in mind, you must use the correct blades, and these blades are continual blade, and that ensures that it doesn't jagger or create any serrations on the top. It makes it a very clean, crisp cut. To carry out a porcelain cut, place it onto your table saw, measure in position, fix it, and then you're going to do a tension cut, which is no more than 2 to 3 millimeters below the surface. Once you've done that, that prevents any cracking. Go back to the beginning, set the blade down, and then do a nice, slow, clean cut all the way through to the end of the tile. When using porcelain cladding, fix in the same way, but do one clean cut all the way through. When cutting natural stone, to prevent danger of dust inhalation, do wet cuts. You can do this using either a petrol disc cutter or a battery-packed electric disc cutter. Using a diamond blade, you can cut through most stones very, very effectively. For this example, we're going to cut out a corner on a piece of natural stone paving. Mark off the 2 points, and then with the petrol disc cutter in this instance, cut very, very cleanly along the top line on both directions so you get a clean dimension of where you are working to. Then you can return your blade back and cut slowly all the way through the slab until the piece of stone comes off. You can then clean up the rest of the stone using the edge of the blade. When using natural stone cladding, there are 2 different cuts that you're going to need to consider. The first one we're going to demonstrate here is where you need to adjust the length of one of the cladding stones to fit in your position. When cutting natural stone cladding, there are 2 particular cuts you're going to focus on. One of those will be to adjust the length so it actually fits into the dimensions that you're working to. And I'll show you here how you would actually take the niche out so it fits in position onto the other cladding tile. The next cut is for the corners of natural stone cladding. If you measure the depth of the cladding tile, you can then mark that off on both tiles, then you make your cuts, and then as you can see, they fit in together to create a corner. So when you're cutting clay pavers, bear in mind that when we place them in, they're actually mortared in position. We can do some really neat tricks. For this one, we're doing a curve. So using the very lower part of the blade, we're going to cut the nice shape of the curve following our pencil mark. Once we've done that, we can then take a clean, angled cut and then tidy it up with the blade. It doesn't have to have a curve all the way through to the edge because the mortar will fill in that gap. So when it comes to cutting your different materials, measure twice, cut once, wear the correct PPE to suit the particular task you're doing. And if anything's too heavy, make sure you have a separate set of hands to assist you. That way, you're going to ensure you get those clean cuts safely and deliver a really good product.